know this. Chennedy Carter, that's right, the guard that played for the Chicago Sky, that of course really and truly sort of popped off all the what you would call violence towards Caitlin Clark last year, does not have a job.
Imagine being so good at your job that you literally lead an entire professional league in scoring, yet WNBA teams won't sign you. That's Chennedy Carter's reality right now, dominating in China with 32 points per game, while the basketball world back home looks the other way after that incident with Caitlin Clark.
That way. She is playing in China, and she just concluded what is a pretty, I would say, sizable feat. And we know one thing that Chennedy Carter can do. She can absolutely score like a bandit. I mean, she is filthy scoring the ball.
When Carter dropped 50 points in a Chinese league game, it highlighted the stark contrast of her situation. How would you feel watching players with half your talent getting contracts while you're putting up these numbers on the other side of the world? Today we're diving into Carter's complicated case, examining which WNBA teams could transform their futures by taking a chance on basketball's most talented outcast.
A lot of you may not know who I'm talking about. Surely you do, but if you don't, this, of course, was Chennedy Carter calling Caitlin Clark a bitch last year before she gave her the WWE forearm shiver. All right, right here, called her a bitch, boom, put her on the floor.
With all their bad incidents, can you believe what Chennedy Carter is doing right now in China? She's absolutely dominating the entire league in ways that'll make your jaw drop. While the WNBA season ended months ago, Carter is over in the Women's Chinese Basketball Association, putting up numbers that look like they're from a video game.
With her, it is unbelievable. Chennedy Carter, WCBA regular season scoring champion and steals champ. She's scoring 32 points a game over there. With 3 steals, she's got 6 40-plus point games and 1 50-plus.
What? That's massive. Did you catch that? Carter is averaging a jaw-dropping 32 points per game in the WCBA, making her the league's leading scorer by a huge margin. She's also leading the entire league in steals, snatching away 3 per game. This performance outpaces even the WNBA's best. Aja Wilson's historic MVP campaign saw her average around 23 points, while stars like Breanna Stewart, Jewel Lloyd, and Arika Ogunbowale put up similar numbers. Carter is torching them by nearly 10 points per game.
Listen to this line she had the other night in China. 52 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 20 for 38, 6 for 11 from 3-point range. Listen to this. She led Wuhan, China, to an upset win.
What makes this situation so crazy is the stark contrast between her dominance and her current status in American basketball. Here's a player absolutely torching an entire professional league overseas, yet not a single WNBA team will offer her a contract. How is that even possible? We're talking about a scoring champion without a job in her home country. You should have seen that game where she exploded for over 50 points. Chinese fans were going absolutely wild, rising to their feet after she hit a step-back 3 with a defender draped all over her. When she drove the lane, split 2 defenders, and finished with contact while falling to the floor, the arena erupted. The footage showed a player completely in the zone, making defenders look helpless with every move. Meanwhile, WNBA fans were flooding social media begging teams to bring her back to the States.
But I thought about this and I was like, what are we doing here? I mean, look, guys, you know I root for chaos. I need chaos to be signed in the league. All right, if you want to, we can call her chaos. I root for chaos, and there's no way this person, and guys, you know I am not the biggest on a personal level Chennedy Carter fan, but she is way too talented to not be on the WNBA.
Carter has completely transformed her game in China. Despite past criticisms about her defensive effort, she's proving all those doubters wrong with her league-leading steal numbers. She's become a legitimate two-way player who impacts both ends of the floor.
Yes, WNBA fans clamor for Chennedy Carter's return after standout performance. This was after she dropped that 50 burger the other day. Chennedy Carter produced a team high, not Angel Reese, Chennedy Carter. 17.5 points per game for the Chicago Sky was their only consistent offensive threat in the backcourt, and it seemed to complement post players Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso extremely well.
And this dominance isn't just a one-time thing. Carter has racked up 6 different 40-plus point games this season in China. That's consistent elite scoring night after night that proves she belongs among basketball's elite. Can any WNBA team truly afford to ignore this level of scoring talent no matter the past issues? Carter's dominance in China proves she might be the most talented player not on a WNBA roster. A pure scoring machine is being wasted overseas when she could be electrifying arenas in America. The numbers don't lie. She's too good to be ignored forever.
Is she blackballed from the league? Is she blacklisted now? A lot of people would call her toxic. I mean, I would have said, well, you don't want the Indiana Fever to sign her. But they turned around and signed Brianna Turner, so I mean, at least we know Chennedy Carter can score the lights out of the place. I mean, serious.
Remember that split-second moment when the basketball world literally exploded? When Chennedy Carter delivered that forearm shiver to Caitlin Clark, it was career suicide. What should have been a simple basketball play turned into the most scrutinized 5 seconds in recent WNBA history.
Shiver. All right, right here, called her a bitch, boom, put her on the floor. All right, we all remember that. I mean, Lord knows, the world exploded.
The incident was anything but subtle. Carter's forearm to Clark resembled a high-speed train derailing in real time. Violent, chaotic, and impossible to look away from.
After that one move, a lot of people called it assault. It really started off the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever situation.
Social media erupted, executives took notice, and suddenly, the league's most dynamic scoring guard became radioactive in America. One impulsive action completely derailed a career that was on track for stardom, transforming Carter from rising star to basketball pariah in mere seconds.
I mean, at that, and of course, Angel Reese celebrated, right, coming off the bench, and they were all tight and everything. I gotta wonder, why is Chennedy Carter not on the Chicago Sky anymore? Question mark. Of course, a lot of people will tell you she's had locker room problems. We all know that, with various teams, and I guess including that.
Carter had a history of locker room issues with previous teams that had been simmering beneath the surface for years. Teams tolerated these problems because of her undeniable talent, but the Clark incident exposed all those past behaviors under the harshest spotlight possible.
No doubt about it. And look, yeah, there was the incident with Caitlin Clark last year, I know, and it's terrible. She's not been the greatest person in a locker room. I get that. But when you got that kind of talent and you can score like that, if it's the old WNBA guard that don't want her in the league, then I kind of want her back in the...
The timing was catastrophic for Carter. Women's basketball was experiencing unprecedented attention thanks to Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise. Millions of new eyes were on the WNBA, and Carter's push happened during what might have been the most watched regular season game in league history. This became front-page news across all sports media, with everyone from casual fans to dedicated analysts weighing in on the controversy. What's truly wild about this situation is that despite all the drama, Carter was absolutely balling for the Chicago Sky. She was their most consistent offensive threat, putting up 17.5 points per game in the backcourt. That's the kind of production that usually forces teams to overlook character concerns. Just look at how many troubled NBA players get second, third, and fourth chances when they can score like that.
In the games that I saw, she looked a lot like Kelsey Mitchell out there scoring. The Rock. I mean, she is a scorer.
Not everyone rushed to condemn Carter either. Angel Reese, her teammate at the time, initially came to her defense, suggesting that the locker room issues people kept talking about were being blown way out of proportion. Reese basically said what many players believe, that Carter's on-court production should speak louder than whatever personality conflicts might exist behind closed doors.
In a way, so a couple of teams are being thrown out there. I've been throwing this team out there from the very beginning, the Golden State Valkyries.
That perfect storm made Carter radioactive in the WNBA, but her scoring ability is creating another perfect storm. One of opportunity. What if I told you there are 2 WNBA teams right now that could transform their entire futures by making one phone call to China? Both the expansion Valkyries and the depleted Sun are missing the exact puzzle piece that Carter represents. But which team would benefit more from taking the risk? Let's start with the Golden State Valkyries. As a brand new expansion team, they're walking into the WNBA without a single established star. Everyone expects them to struggle. It's almost written into the expansion team playbook. But what if they flip the script completely? Imagine the Valkyries shocking the basketball world by signing Carter and immediately becoming relevant in their inaugural season.
They badly need a scorer, all right? Of course, their expansion team, they're expected to be one of the worst teams in the league. She's instant offense. Would she average 23, 24 points on this team? I don't know. Her and Kate Martin, it'd certainly be interesting.